Hi, my name is Joan Porte, and I'm a karmic astrologer, which means that I read your charts and I read them as a past life reference and then a current life reference. So when I go into your chart, I will do a full analysis, past life, current life, where you were, where you're going toward. And I use journaling for myself, but I've also, since meeting Mary, have started using it for my clients because it is a great way to tap into past life memories. And just recently, quite by coincidence, even though we all know there's really no such thing as coincidences, I was sitting down and I was doing my morning journaling, and I said, speaking of past life, what is the great transition between past and present? And it came to me that that would be the first memory that you have in this lifetime. Now, most people have that first memory around 2.5, 3. Some people tell me, oh, I was 6 and I remember 6 months. And I'm like, yeah. But let's just assume most people have them around 2.5, 3 years old. And that to me is a bridge. It's a great bridge between the past and the current and the future. And I said, what was my first memory? And I started thinking about it, and it came to mind, and frankly, it wasn't a very pleasant one. It was kind of annoying, I would say, and indicative of a relationship that I had with several members of my family. And it just struck me as I wrote, the incident out. I remembered a past life regression that I had that dealt with these members of my family, in which things did not go very well. And in fact, in a couple of cases, I was the one who sort of could have been a little more helpful to them, let me put it this way. So, and it just hit me all of a sudden that me re-entering their life, and I'm the youngest of a family of 5 children, probably triggered in them some rather negative past karmic input, let's just put it that way. And that's why it led to them. And I'll tell you the occurrence. It was when I was just about 2.5, a couple of my sisters, walked me down to the corner, which in hindsight I realized was about a block from my house. But when you're 2.5, 3 years old, a block from your house is, around the world. And they left me there and ran away. And of course, I panicked and I started crying, and my mother had to come get me. And they ran off in great glee. But I writing this out, I remembered, oh, geez, I did this to this one and that to that one. And okay, I guess they were just sort of getting in their digs. And I said, I wish I had not waited to find Mary and find journaling until the advanced age I'm at now. If I had done this earlier, I probably would have hit on this karmic connection. It would have driven it home earlier. So if you're looking for a journaling trigger, particularly if you're interested in, what was the first thing that I came into? What did I carry over? Which I always talk to my clients about, carrying over energy from previous lives. Sit and think about that first memory, the first thing you remember. And I've been talking to people, and everybody can remember that I've talked to. It's an unscientific study, but everybody can remember that first memory and sit with it and journal it. And I use this now with my clients. I'll say, if you're having an issue that you're stuck on, because a lot of people, it's so hard to access stuff from your past lives. And so many people sort of just stop and they say that there's something else bothering me. There's something else there. I just don't know what it is. And so I'm using journaling and Mary's methods to help them expand, help them broaden out. And I use this in particular with several clients very recently. And I said, okay, what was that first memory? Write it down and work through it. And they both have said, this is fantastic. So since it worked for them, I'm now using it with pretty much everyone. And it's a really good way to access that bridge. And the wonderful thing about that, it is not a one-shot deal. Because a few weeks later, I went back and I said, well, let me see if I can, pull something else out from this. So I went back, rewrote the scenario again as the heading, and then just started, okay, new ideas. What else is coming to me? And I wrote and I wrote, and it was a completely different aspect, a completely different code of events, if you will, that came up, and reasons why this was traumatic, this meant this with this person, that meant that with that person. And I've done it again. So now I've done this as an experiment with myself for doing it 3 times. And I'm probably going to do it more in the future, because every time on the same one event, something different, something new comes up about relationships and about the past. So please use that, because it's a wonderful technique, even if you're not, so concerned with astrology, although it really is helpful. But use that. What is that first memory? And what is the connection? And what does it mean to me? So thank you very much, Joan Porte. I'm a karmic astrologer who's found journaling is a great way to bridge the gap between past and current.